stop and think about how much can be packed inside a single, simple word? Well, today we're going to do just that. We're starting with one word you definitely know and following it down a rabbit hole to this incredible idea about language and how we all connect. Let's dive in. So here's our word bell. The definition we're looking at from the Simple English Wiktionary is probably exactly what you'd expect, right? It's a countable noun, an object, cup-shaped, makes a ringing sound when you hit it. Pretty straightforward.
I mean, we all know this word. You can see it in your head. You can hear that sound. It's solid. It's real. It's simple. You'd think, okay, that's it. Story over.
But why are we talking about this word? Of all the thousands and thousands of words in English, why bell? Well, it turns out this simple little word is hiding a pretty big secret.
See, if you dig into the source material, tucked away is this one little sentence. Bow is on the basic English 850 list. And that one line, that's the key that unlocks this entire story.
Right? That's exactly what I thought. The basic English 850 list? What on earth is that? It sounds official and very, very specific. 850. That's the number. And it's not just some random number, believe me. It is the absolute foundation of a huge, fascinating idea. And there it is, basic English. It's a version of the language that's been deliberately stripped down to its absolute core. It's incredibly structured, too. You get 600 nouns, 150 adjectives, and just 100 operator words, verbs and prepositions that have to do all the heavy lifting. So why would anyone do this? Well, the whole point was to create a tool for the entire world, to make English easier to pick up for learners everywhere, and to show that you could say really complex things with just a simple set of building blocks. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to the beginning. With only 850 spots available on this super exclusive list, why did bell make the cut? What makes it one of the essential, foundational words of the entire language? So it turns out bell is basically the perfect model for a basic word. It's a countable noun for a real thing anyone can picture. The pronunciation couldn't be easier. It's just one syllable, bell. Plus, it's useful, and you're not going to easily confuse it with other words. It's a little masterpiece of efficiency.
And you got to remember, choosing words like this wasn't just some fun little academic game. This obsession with simple, clear, universal words, it was all about creating a tool that could reach across the entire globe.
And the proof is right there in the pudding. 68. That's how many different languages the Wiktionary entry for this one word is available in. That really tells you something about its global importance. So let's just take a quick world tour, shall we? The source lists dozens of translations, but here are just a few to give you a feel for it. So in French, it's la cloche. In Japanese, you'll see buru. Head over to Swahili, it's kengele. And in Russian, kolokol. And that's really the whole point, isn't it? One simple concept understood in so many different cultures. All because someone picked a word so clear that it could connect people all over the planet. So let's zoom out. Basic English as a project might be from the last century, but this idea at its heart, the power of simplicity, is maybe more important now than ever. It never totally replaced standard English, but its ideas have popped up everywhere, from technical manuals to projects like the Simple English Wikipedia. The lesson here is just so powerful. Clear communication doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, having a simple, solid foundation is often the best way to build the biggest ideas. Mastering the core stuff, that's the real key to learning anything. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. It's a pretty cool thought experiment, really. If everything was stripped away, all the fancy words and complex grammar, if you only had those 850 words, what would be important enough for you to say?